in the upper left now. In the blue, the progenitor of Reapers. He's ByuN. And at the bottom right, in the red, it's an Eric build. Once again, gas cancel into hatch for Basilisk. Serral. And now we get to see what exactly ByuN has in store for us. And the fun thing is, take a look at this. We talk about how ByuN is the progenitor of this Reaper play. ByuN is going CC first against the Eric build. And this is going to be interesting. Now, normally, talk about going pool first against a CC first, and you're actually, it's not all that great unless it's a 12 pool. And even then, I don't think that generally the 12 pool doesn't find its way over in time. So, yeah, no. ByuN's going to get this down, this CC first on the low ground, playing against how ByuN has been playing. Every single series, maybe not as much in this tournament, but for like the last, pretty much since ByuN shipping, and certainly since Gamers 8, every single series that ByuN has played, he's gone 2 racks in the wall on the low ground, pressured with about 3 Reapers, moved into something else. He's going CC first 2-1-1 here against Serral in game number 1. And I love this. Serral's been playing the he's been playing greedy once he gets his third base up, but he's been playing tech greedy, not economically greedy. And this build, by the way, is not economically greedy. You by gas canceling, you lose about half a drone. You know, you do slow yourself down just a little bit. And in doing so, because ByuN went CC first, he's going to get away with this easily. In fact, not only is this CC first, this is CC first into immediate reactor. And he's that. So this is a 3 racks play. Serral should scout this. But does he? He saw the 1 barracks. That's it. He sees no factory. But Serral does. He has no idea what's happening right now. This is a 4 racks play off of a CC first build out of ByuN. Make no mistake about it, by the way. This is timing. This is pressure. This is not all in from ByuN. He does have options out of this, but he does want to get damage done. And Serral has no idea at all here. Yeah, the only thing he's seen is the barracks and there's no factory. Which, by the way, isn't 100% scout. Normally a factory is going to be there behind the barracks, but not always. Sometimes we'll see Terran players, because they're trying to hide it from specifically that scout, they'll put the barracks where this factory is. Or they'll put the factory where this barracks is. And that'll work out for them pretty well. So Serral, he's doing the same thing he did against Maru a couple times. Eric build, Roach Warren, we should see it in about, actually right now. Layer on the way very quickly. This 4 racks build from ByuN, he has no idea that it's happening. And again, this is a CC first build as well. ByuN's economy is fantastic. It's just so good. Now, of course, when we talk about how this game is going, the one thing we do have to point out is that ByuN will struggle to break Serral with the roaches, with the with roaches, right? With the roaches out with roach speed, with only being 2 based on the Zerg as well, so he can't really ping pong. Did Serral see? What did he see? Didn't see anything up on the high ground. Didn't know. So roaches are now on the way. And the other thing about this, when we talk about this build coming out of ByuN, if he sees the roaches, like if Serral decides to do kind of the elevator or the highway move that we saw him do against Maru, he can get Marauders out very quickly. So for now, stim done in 10 seconds here. Now Serral will see this. In fact, I think he got, no, okay, he didn't get that. Not quite overlord speed. But Serral sees this now. He's aware of what's happening. More and more roaches are on the way. Third base about halfway done. But realistically, ByuN doesn't have to step on creep with this. Now, he does have to be careful that roaches will eventually chase him down, but stimmed Marines are still faster than speed roaches off creep. So we're going to see ByuN pressure. We're going to see him move on the map. We're going to see him force more roaches out of Serral, force more overlords out of Serral, because Serral is supply blocked right now. He was relying on that third base, but he doesn't have the time. So here come the Marines. They're moving forward on the map. Halfway through now. Roach speed, about 20 seconds from completion. Serral had to build a lot of roaches here to make this happen, but look at what he's doing. He's hiding most of them. He wants ByuN to stim, and he wants that to be a trap. But for now, ByuN not willing to stim right here. Now he's going to see the full extent of the roaches, but he's just going to get on top of them anyways. The roaches, they're just falling, and Serral, he's got a solid comp cave here, but ByuN on the north side gets more, takes as much as he can, and then just backs the hell on out. He can stim out of this. He won't lose all that much, even with roach speed. The Marines are faster. So that was, at the end of the day, 13 Marines for 9 roaches. A Ling died too. Who cares? And behind this, more Marauders are on the way. Serral, actually, ByuN turns around. He's gonna try to get another roach. Won't get that one. Is well, a couple of these Marines can't stim anymore. And now, these roaches from the right side, really nice ideas. But now Marauders are joining the fray. And all of a sudden, here, this army. I mean, ByuN traded as well as he could, given everything that happened. He didn't get any queens, which would have been really nice. But even still, Serral built a lot more roaches than he would have liked to, and at 6 minutes in, ByuN's economy and Serral's they're nearly identical, 58 workers to 53. And of course, the third base now done here for ByuN. Orbital on the way. He's got himself in a pretty solid spot, and Serral, he's on single evo. He's going Carapace. He had to commit to those roaches early on to stay alive, and that just coupled with how much later this third base is, coupled with how much later the natural was. Serral can't have everything he wants. He can't have his cake and eat it too. And against a Zerg that is so strong in the late game, it's going to make it really hard for him to get there. So for now, Serral, he's going to have to rely, or try to rely, on burrowed roaches. That's going to have to be something. Burrowed just about done. Roach burrow movement. Tunneling Claw is about halfway done. But this is not those games we saw against Maru where Serral was able to play so greedily off of the openings that we saw from Maru, and just, 5-minute infestation pit, 7-minute hive, 9-minute ultras. It's not going to happen. But now Serral buying time here. Drop a Lord on the left side. 4 roaches getting ready to go into it. Burrow is done. Tunneling Claw is done in 4 seconds. And Serral wants ByuN to play whack-a-mole. Now Serral's gonna. ByuN got the scout somehow. I guess he saw the tunneling claws in time. I don't even know. I think this just is a meta play here, because Serral's gonna drop into the main, but there was already that missile turret outside of the natural. ByuN just crossing his eyes and dotting his T's. And yeah, you know what? The burrow will be able to get some of these roaches out. I mean, yeah, sure. The healing is really nice. Second one, barely. Oh no, it's dead. But now there are missile turrets everywhere. So Serral goes for this burrow movement play. He gets he's gonna get, one more roach will fall. Let's scan for it. He gets 2 scans, 2 SCVs. That's it. This was not really anything that Serral was looking to find. And the last roach goes down. I mean, each scan is technically about 200 minerals, give or take. But Serral now hive on the way anyways, because he forced ByuN back for about a minute. Hive is on the way. He's got 2 infestors on the map, and this can be this really powerful timing with the Zerg when they're going for this roach style that Serral has been playing. Again, taking that page out of Dark's book, where you go this style, you get into very quick hive, you go roaches, but you get the 2 infestors because 2 fungals, 1-shot Marines. And you stack them together like that. So if you can hit some dead center mass fungals, it can work out rather nicely, as this missile turret will go down, and well, that will force ByuN backwards a little bit now on the front lines. He's going to get a couple roaches here as they retreat backwards. Kind of just left, right there. Left, right, and center, actually. But Serral's just trying to buy time. For now, those scan gets dropped. One. By the way, can we talk about those roach lines are not easy to scout. They really aren't. They're not easy to see, but ByuN has caught a couple of them. Obviously, I mean, he's staring very closely, and he's using hybrid settings, so it's easier than what we would be able to see looking at things. But even still, he's doing a really nice job here of tracking these down, as another roach will fall. And again, you're spending scans on it. It's not free. But ByuN's just about to max out. He's got 1-1 done, 2-2 halfway done here. He would like to get Vipers, or Ghost, excuse me. Vipers are really nice against this style of composition, just sniping things down, getting them for free. But now the fungal, it gets half the army here. ByuN kites the other half away, and now he's going to be forced to back away. That's the reveal on the infestors right now, and ByuN just picks up, goes somewhere else. He gets Is that a base going down? I'm actually not sure. Another fungo goes down here, and that's going to be a lot of dead Marines. Even still, did ByuN get a base? Yeah, okay. So he got the base on the middle of the map as well. That's going to be really nice. Hydras are out, but Lurkers aren't ready yet. So ByuN can continue to just kite away here. Theoretically, once 2-2 is done, this is an army that ByuN can fight. But he's still going to back out for the time being. He had as many fungals as possible. But now Cyril's got Lurkers on the way. And ByuN doesn't really have those ghosts, but he's going to stim right down the ramp once again. Roaches will fall, Ravagers as well. And Festers go forward. Fungal center mass here, but no Biles to follow it up, so even still. And now the scan gets dropped here. Another fungal goes down, but this army from ByuN, it seems just too damn strong anyways. But here come the Lurkers, and that will force ByuN back for the time being. Again, another positive trade. ByuN continues to find value in this game, but Serral is slowly inching his way to the army that he wants. He's got +1 attack, +2 on the way. Lurker range halfway done, or excuse me, Lurker range done. Lurker burrow halfway, or just getting started here. Serral will eventually have this really powerful army that ByuN will struggle to break through until Ghosts hit the field. So for now, ByuN on the left side. He's got this army together. The Lurkers aren't there just yet. Widowmine is gonna get the queen. And ByuN on the right side. He's never just playing one army. He's never just playing one fight at any given time. Now he looks to stim down the ramp here, and he's gonna catch the Lurkers in stride. Stims right on top of them. The scan's great, but he doesn't want to go up the ramp here. Oh, and now he's gonna take so much damage off of this. That's a mistake there from ByuN. I guess he was worried about what might have been further up the ramp, but instead of just winning the game, or at least winning the fight tremendously, the Lurkers do a lot of damage. And now, after about 12 minutes of this game, it feels like Serral is finally getting to that composition that he wants to find there with the Lurkers, with 2-2, with +3 armor just about done. But still, big multi-drop here. This Lurker's dead. There's no saving it whatsoever. ByuN, of course, has forgotten his +3 attack because he's ByuN. But even still, this army can take fights, kiting away from the damage, kiting away from the Lurkers, got the spawning pool, and he has to be so careful of the medevacs. The fungals go down on everything. Lurkers are going to look to burrow, and the roaches in the third as well here. All of a sudden, Serral taking massive, masterful trades in the middle of the map on both sides here. And for 12 minutes, he's bent. For 12 minutes, he's sat back. For 12 minutes, he's been behind. And he's still maybe not in the best spot, but he does do damage at the very least to the Terran economy. He does kill some of this Terran army off. But now there's the Ghost Academy on the way. Finally, ByuN is getting himself into this composition that will be able to handle in some way, shape, or form these Lurkers and these infestors. Even still, ByuN, this drop was not dealt with as much as Serral thought it was. So into the main base, this hive is, well, hive is the problem now. ByuN comes to the center of the map here. The army from Serral is not where it needs to be. He's caught between a rock and a hard place here. His pants are down, and now so few Lurkers on the map. They're all on the other side. It's 6 of them, and they can't defend this. Now they're going to try to find their way on over. Fungal, no. ByuN just taps it down, gets on top of the Lurkers as well. But the Lurkers clean things up pretty nicely. At the end of the day, Lurkers clean things up very nicely. Is this drop somehow still here? The Hydras that pop out should be able to deal with the rest of it. Now Lurker gets out of vision range and should be able to reburrow once again. Scan gets dropped in the Lurker in the middle. And all of a sudden, look at our supply. Look at our supply. Charles up 20 workers. He's up 20 army supply. He's got 2-3, so too does ByuN. But all of a sudden here, Serral looks like he might be able to make something happen. He forced the base off the forward position. He got lots of damage there. He got a lot of economy. And now, I mean, he's got a couple drones with this army. I imagine just pulled it together on accident. But this is a position that ByuN will struggle to fight into with these Lurkers, with this just massive arc of Hydras. And again, no ghosts. They're just starting to hit the field right now. ByuN's dead. Serral bends for 14 minutes of this game. And in the last 30 seconds of it, he just wins the game. What a comeback from Serral. My goodness, well played. Incredible game one. in the upper left now in the blue, down a game that it didn't feel possible to lose. He's ByuN. And to the bottom right in the red, up a game. What felt like an unwinnable game. He's Serral. And as we get here into this game number 2 of what is rapidly shaping up to be a really good series, I'd like to remind you all that if you want more games of StarCraft with Serral and ByuN like this series, or Serral and Maru, or Serral and MaxPax, or Raynor and Maru, and all these top players, you should sub to the channel, because every single day of the week we have those games. And I would say twice on Sundays, but only once on Sundays. There's never more than one game at one series a day, but regardless, you should sub and like that video, and let me know what moment you realized that ByuN was going to lose that game. Because for me, it was probably about 30 seconds before it ended, but all of a sudden you're like, well, ByuN, you had this tempo and then you just died. What just happened? And Serral just hit the timing. It was his presence of mind to not have his army. I think about a minute before that game ended, we're talking about ByuN pushing in, and I said something to the effect of, Serral, where's your army? Because his army just wasn't there to defend. His army was counterattacking. His army was killing a ton of ByuN's economy, was dealing with reinforcements, and then the Lurkers found their way in. And by the way, his army was also forcing the forward base to left back to go to get a fourth base at a more defensible location. All of a sudden there, ByuN is not mining at all. He's not mining out of his third base. His fourth base was forced to lift. His reinforcements were dealt with, and it's like, well, ByuN's just dead. He can't reinforce anymore. He doesn't have the money. And that is just, it's crazy to see how a TVZ like that just ends so abruptly. Like, generally we can talk about, oh, you know, people have been complaining for years about how, you know, StarCraft games end in an instant, about how disruptors or banelings or widow mines are just too strong because the splash damage is, you know, they make games end when they shouldn't. The fights are too quick. But this wasn't a case of a fight ending too quickly. This wasn't a case of a disruptor killing 30 supply, and it's like, well, good luck. This was the case of a minute of gameplay swapping, just supplanting 13 minutes of gameplay. This was the case of Serral just bending and bending and bending and bending until he had his timing, until he found that one chance out of 1,000 that made him win that game. And he took it. But, you know what? Actually, we get to that point. I'm surprised that they didn't cast Eunice Utala instead of Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, because certainly Serral is one of those players that can look at a game and see the 999 different opportunities where he loses and find the one where he comes back and wins. But realistically, Serral is just on another level in this tournament. And I'm not trying to make this entire video, this entire cast about how good Serral is. Everyone knows. But Serral is on, and since he got slapped by Clem in the playoffs round 1, and even in the group stage, Serral looked dominant. But ever since he got slapped by Clem in lower or the upper bracket round 1, Serral has looked untouchable. He 3-0'd Maru, or he 3-0'd MaxPax, then he 3-0'd Maru, and then he just won this game 1 against ByuN. But now ByuN, a little bit of aggression here. He's going to get an Overlord, get another one, so Serral supply blocked. In fact, Serral's going to be, well, no, he's not. Never mind. Overlord popped anyways, and now, well, the roaches are out, so ByuN's not going to be able to get too much done. But still, getting an Overlord, getting vision, getting a scout is always going to be a fairly nice thing, and we're going to have to see what exactly ByuN is doing with this one. For now, though, third base on the way, but ByuN does have a timing in mind. Notice it's single eBay. It's not double eBay. It's just the one. He wants to hit a really quick +1 stim. I assume combat shield timing. We should see the combat shield get started rather quickly, so it just times out with things. He might even be considering going the full 7:30 timing, or the full 6:30 stim timing, where you add I mean, he's adding Marauders, but you add concussive shells on top of it just to really deal with these roaches. For now, though, we're not going to see that, not just yet. And I'm excited to see. Oh, okay, there we go. Creep Tumor gets killed. This roach build that we're seeing out of Serral, every time I look at it, every single time I look at it, it's just like, this doesn't feel like something that should work incredibly well. Because you delay your, like, you get your natural a little bit faster, but you sacrifice economy for it. Then you delay your third base tremendously. And then you get a quick hive. And it doesn't feel like you should be able to afford everything you're affording. But Serral's just got something figured out, guys. He just plays it. He just built a little different. I don't know that this is a build that I would recommend anyone play on ladder. Because, again, it strikes me as one of those things where you have to understand the game so perfectly to figure it out. And again, now this is not going to be the 430 infestation pit that we saw in, what was that, game 3 against Maru? But it's still going to be a very quick infestation pit. Should be done right around 7:15, which means the hive will still be done before 10 minutes. And now, ByuN into the main base looking for the drop, but roaches and queens are going to be enough to force this thing back for now. And we can just continue to look at this game. We just continue to look at this game that has, oh, ByuN move command on the drop. He could have gotten both queens. Now he's got to pick up and run away because the roaches are here. He was just worried about the roach pressure on the other side, I guess, and that's just not great. So combat shields are on the way. I think it's interesting that we're still only, it's actually not going to show it. Well, no, will. We're only single tech lab on these Marines, or on these barracks. So he's building one Marauder at a time, but you can't get his full complement of upgrades super quickly. Combat shields are only just now done. And I can understand, right? You would rather, you want to spend money elsewhere and how economic scales on a TVZ. And generally, you're not going to want to go and build Marauders. Right? But given that Serral has played so roach heavy, really this entire tournament is another Overlord gets sniped. No, it doesn't get sniped down. Given how roach heavy Serral has played, it feels like kind of going for that 730. I don't know. Maybe the roach count's just going to be too high. But it feels like getting a quick concussive shells in this setup actually might be really solid for Terran players as they try to figure out how to deal with this Serral style. But who am I to say? I mean, this build, it feels so weird to me, but it works out anyways. Is now baneling speed's not done, but banelings are on the map, so ByuN has to be somewhat careful. Although slow banelings for ByuN, ooh, that's a feast. That's just a highlight reel waiting to happen. So ByuN, now he's going to stim down the ramp here, putting pressure on this 5th base out of Serral. But his tanks are way far behind. They're not going to shell away just yet. Lings now go through and back to the tank line. Serral again backs up for now, still buys time. He's got Vipers just about done. Adrenal getting started here. And this is, realistically, it's one of those setups. He doesn't want to lose this base, but it's not the end of the world. Now baneling speed is done. And that's something, but ByuN brings his entire army together here. Once again, Lings and Banes are going to run forward, but it's the tank line, that position that ByuN has built for himself that makes it so hard for Serral to truly engage. Lings from the left side, they're just going to run through and die. Pathing, please, not really going to be Serral's friend right now. But again, ByuN, Serral, they trade on the edge of things. Because TVZ is truly a liminal match. You play on the edge of things, on the edge of your own abilities, on the edge of creep, on the edge of what is efficient. So now biostims, and this time Serral on the surround wants to make something happen, but there's a pickup, there's a pull away, and the tanks are just finding value after value. They're doing a great job, and the banelings are just not getting their connections. Now, though, this might be an opportunity here from Serral. Comes sweeping in from every single side on the Viper timing. 2 tanks go down in the blink of an eye, make it a 3rd here. ByuN overstayed his welcome. But still, he's got a bunch of medevacs looking to run onto that right side, looking to force Serral back. And it seems like he will be able to do so. And he's going to get the base here as well. So it's a 4-base Terran and a 4-base Zerg. Serral did a great job of breaking that position open, but even still, losing that hatch doesn't feel great. That being said, though, ByuN's upgrades are miles behind. It's 10 minutes in. His 2-2's only halfway done. He really didn't talk. I didn't talk about it at the time, but he really he was very slow in getting those upgrades after he got his 1-1 because it was only single eBay for a time. And that means now that this timing is the base will get canceled once again. Nice job there, ByuN. That means now that Serral's timing here, we saw what a 2-2 timing did for Maru, or did against Maru. Cyril's not going to quite have that because he did get 1-1 range first, but even still, floods down the ramp here, blinding clouds on the tanks. Yeah, they're not going to fire, and the Lings, the Banes, they're going to find their way in. It's going to be 10 dead SCVs, 12 dead SCVs, 14 even. And now Serral just backs up. He's going to be okay. 2-2 is about halfway done, 3/4 of the way done here. ByuN's is, but Serral, he's got the north side base up. He's got the south side base. Really every base, give or take, that he's missing like one. Yeah, he's missing like one base that would reasonably be expected to be his, but he's got most of the easy bases taken. And his economy, you know, in comparison to ByuN's, is only okay. It's 81 versus 81, but remember also, this is still a lot of roaches. This is still a lot of ravagers. This is still pretty heavy in the supply count, or rather low in supply efficiency. And ByuN does have 10 seconds until his 2-2. So if Serral looks to hit right now, he's going to be hitting right into a bit of an anti-timing, but he's going to go right now. 2-2 now done for ByuN, but his army's not in position. Stims on forward here. Tanks way far back. Snipes go down on whatever they can, but the blinding clouds are beautiful. And this army, well, the banelings are just going to make their connections anyways. 22 workers, 25 go down. The tanks fall as well. And again, Serral's going to back up. He doesn't have to kill ByuN right now. He just has to make him hurt. He just has to make him bleed. He just has to make him just feel the pain of running into this incredible Zerg that we are so privileged to watch. And again, I'm not saying this because I'm some massive Serral fanboy. I mean, I like Serral. He's a cool guy. When I was at DreamHack Atlanta, he told me he was sad that I was that he didn't see me on the broadcast. But, which by the way is again one of my most cherished StarCraft memories. Was awesome. Like, but I'm not saying this because I think Serral is, you know, because I'm some massive Serral fanboy. I'm saying this because Serral has been playing some of the best StarCraft I've seen from him in quite a while. Certainly better than, say, Gamers 8. But he's going to go in once again. And this time, Biles. Okay, so ByuN will dodge the Biles. And that's going to be fairly nice. Liberators now siege up once again. But 20 more workers die. And this 3-3 timing. The Bile isn't going to get it. Oh, gets the Liberator, actually. But the +3 armor for now should get repaired. But ByuN is on 3 bases. Realistically, the main and the natural are starting to mine out as well. He's only got 54 SCVs. And it truly does feel at this point that the next attack that comes in from Serral, once he morphs these Banes, once he maxes out once again, this will be the timing where Serral just breaks the game. I mean, the game is already feeling kind of broken, but this feels like it'll be the point where Serral wins the game. So on the bottom left side, Lings just forced the lift, and it's not going to burrow there. It's not going to drop there again. Not with creep, not with a burrowed Ling. It's ByuN, where are you supposed to mine here, bud? I really don't know where ByuN's supposed to mine at this point. His next timing, he's going to try to max out. He's going to have a 3-3 eventually. He's going to have personal cloaking on the Ghost. He's going to have +2 attack on the tanks, but Serral just doesn't want to give him that timing. This planetary, baneling's going to run right on in. The abducts on the tanks, the SCVs trying to keep this thing alive, and the banelings don't even care, right? The Lings and the roaches and the ravagers, they're going to do enough here. That hatch or that planetary will fall, and Ghost on the backside, they're forced out. The banelings just force them away. 13 workers go down, 14 workers go down. Roaches on the right side, they're okay to die at this point, and as long as they trade their lives that well, if they get a Ghost, incredible. But even still, Serral, it's funny, like he wants to trade these Ghosts out, or these Roaches out. He really does. He doesn't have much of a use for them anymore, but he's too cost effective to even do that. He really is. He's like, yeah, I could throw this 20-year-old t-shirt away. There's like 20 holes in it, but I can also patch it up and use it again until it literally falls apart in my hands. And that's what Serral's doing with these roaches. They got more holes than they really do have more holes than they have flesh at this point for all the damage they've taken. But they go back up, heal up once again distract ByuN, and Serral finds his way on in through the left side once again here. Ghosts Vipers were EMP'd a little bit, but Lings and Mates get on top of the tank anyways, and they continue to kill things. Now Serral, his supply is falling down. It is expensive for him to take these trades. The roaches find their way in once again. More SCVs go down, and you know what? As much as I'm saying that Serral is just playing this untouchable game, and in fairness, Serral looks very good. Serral, I mean, these last couple fights have been pretty ByuN favored. Even as I say that, though, those have kind of been the only fights that have been ByuN favored, and it's only about 3,000 resources lost in the advantage for ByuN. And Serral has, I mean, Serral has ByuN's bases at this point, and he's still getting value. It's 15 minutes in, and he's getting value with these roaches. And it's crazy because we look at this as like, well, you know, we're 16 minutes in. Clearly, this has been a back and forth game. No, this has been a game where ByuN has been doing his darndest to stay alive. But it's just been this impeccable game from Serral. Well, Serral runs in, gets damaged, backs up, does it again, and again, and again, and he just does not. He's not giving ByuN any opportunity to come back into this game. Really, that's what this is, because it is damn hard to break a turtling Terran. But if you can deny them their 5th, well, that's going to be pretty nice. If you can deny them economy on their 3rd, that's going to be pretty solid. So Serral once again getting ready here. This time, a crap ton of 3/3 adrenalings are going to find their way into the north side. And actually, they're looking for a base. There is no base there. Serral knew that, though. As the EMPs are now going to whiff the Vipers, they're going to get sniped down, though. And that's actually really nice here. But now the Lings, the Adrenalings, are going to find their way on in. They're going to get on top of the tanks. That's fantastic. On into these SCVs as well. And the Marauders, I mean, they will not survive. Not against this one. So 23 more SCVs go down. More and more Lings here. Serral's entire army. Actually, not his entire army, but a good portion of it. All find their way north side. 26 more workers go down. You would have liked to see Serral burrow a Ling just because. But even still. Even still here. This has been a game when it's been 106 SCVs to 0 dead drones. Not a single drone has died this game against ByuN, against the master of multitasking, and now this orbital is just dead. It's in the ground. There's not a lot here for ByuN anymore. He's got this linear line of bases, but he only has, what is that, 3 orbitals. He's got a 4th base on the way that wants to be a command center, and now the Lings get on top of more of these tanks. It's only 3, and that base can't even land. Yeah, ByuN is dead. Serral, game 1 was a game that ByuN should have won, and Serral won anyways. Game 2, though, is a game that pretty much when Serral got to where he wanted to be, it was wire to wire. ByuN held on for a long time, but not enough. And Serral, 2-0 now, looking absolutely untouchable in this tournament. Just incredible form. And to the bottom left now in the blue, back against the wall, down 2 for the Shopify Rebellion. It's ByuN. And in the upper right, in the red, looking untouchable, really, in this matchup, in this entire tournament. It's Serral. And Serral not going for the Eric build here in this game number 3. And ByuN doing the build that the Eric build is supposed to counter. As Serral goes hatch gas pool, we now get to see if Serral can hold on against the full might of ByuN's aggression of his 4 racks timing. When he doesn't go the defensive build. When he plays the standard build. The build that clearly, right, that Serral stopped doing because in part he was worried about this type of build that ByuN's doing. Actually, I'm sorry. This might just be 3 racks Reaper. I got excited about it because I 4 racks build, whatever, but generally ByuN goes the 4 racks after he's got his Reapers on the way. So this is actually going to be 3 racks Reaper here coming out of ByuN. And ByuN has just tremendous skill with this thing sometimes. I look back to that series I did with Steadfast at ESL Yonshipping, where ByuN went 3 racks Reaper. He built 6, well, actually built more than that because he lost a couple, but he did so much damage to a laser that he built medevacs afterwards, and he dropped 16 Reapers onto a laser and killed him. Just the most ludicrous thing. But for now, this is 3 Reapers at a time, and this is up to Serral to realize what's happening and make sure he defends this appropriately. This 3rd base is a goner, I think. I don't think that Serral's going to be able to hold on to this whatsoever if ByuN commits to it. That's always the question. Because, of course, with 3 racks Reaper play, you can overcommit. You can try to go and be a little bit too aggressive. But, yeah, ByuN, he's already going to start to shell away at this 3rd base. The Reaper should find it. And once you get that, as the Reapers continue to rally across, this is the bare minimum damage out of ByuN. Realistically, he's gonna get this. He's going to kill that. He's going to get this third base. The question really is whether he can get more on top of that, whether he can really start to put the hammer and tongs here to what Serral wants to do, whether he can just kill him with this versus just find an advantage. And even if he doesn't kill him with it, can he find enough advantage to turn it into a kill a minute later? Because again, ByuN should have won game number 1, and he didn't, because Serral is just so good at finding that one window, that one timing where he tries to find his way, the one timing that will allow him to win the game. So for now, the third base gets canceled, not killed, because again, that's just what you have to do. You will never get it up, not against 5 or 6 Reapers. But behind this, ByuN, he's going to content himself with 8 Reapers, which is really what he tends to do. 6 is the magic number to one-shot drones. You just get a couple more to make sure that, hey, if you lose a couple, you can still one-shot drones, and it's a lot of damage against lings, a lot of damage against queens. And the other thing, and I guess it's just ByuN has too much respect for Serral. Sometimes he'll go and he'll build 16 Reapers that we were talking about. He attempted to do that against Dark in the earlier on in the series that he did win against Dark, by the way, but he did not win that game. Dark caught half of his Reapers. ByuN built more, and it just was a little bit awkward. But now ByuN's gonna find another base here. Ling is on the backside looking for the wraparound, but ByuN is doing such a good job here of staying on corners, killing Lings as he gets them, making it so that there is really no full surround, that ByuN can always tap himself into a corner, or tap on the high ground, low ground, and just continue to trade here. So again, continue pressure here. He's going to get on top of a queen, but not kill it yet. And now the Reaper is backing up just a little bit. Ling's sharking around, but they're not going to find what they're looking for. Not just yet. And behind this, Stim, 3/4 of the way done, +1. Call it halfway. 33%, 1/3 of the way done here. ByuN's going to turn this into a powerful timing, a 3-1-1. Stim, combat shields, +1, couple medevacs. And that really will beg the question of whether Serral's going to be able to withstand this. His third base is tremendously late, and this is not the Eric build. This is not the 330 Roach Warren into a 320 Roach Warren into a very quick layer that keeps you safe against this. This is Baneling Nest is on the way from Serral. Layer on the way, but it will not be ready for this timing coming out of ByuN. Serral is going to have to rely on a lot of units, and because his third base was so delayed, he's not going to have as much larva as he would like. He's built a lot of drones right now, sure, 51 of them. But he needs more. He needs more of everything. He needs more drones. He needs more lings. So now we get to see if this timing is going to do it here for ByuN. Combat shield's about halfway done. +1. Well, going to complete right around the same time, and combat shields is a pretty damn fast upgrade. So ByuN's on the map, and we've seen ByuN do this against some of the best Terran players or best Zerg players in the world. This just these crisp timings where the Zerg's not ready, where they don't have enough banelings, or if they do, they don't have speed and they can't just get on top, and the queens then fall, and suddenly the Zerg is dead. For now, one queen gets low, already energy getting spent, +1 done. And combat shields, give it 25 seconds. That's the timing here that ByuN is really waiting for. But even now, he's got medevacs on the field. Reapers run forward, and the Marines, they're going to stim on top of this. One queen goes down, second one falls here. KD8 charges make it nigh impossible for the Lings, for the banelings to really start to join the connection here. ByuN targets 1 down, gets 2, gets 3, gets 4. He's going to get all the banelings, and this is just going to do it right here. Combat shields, they finish in the nick of time, and ByuN just does ByuN things, taps every single baneling down, and all the chaos and the madness, and gets the queens too. ByuN takes this game, fights back into this series, and we get to go to game 4. Whenever you see a situation like this, you're just, as a caster, I'm looking for the moment. I'm like, ByuN, how good you target fire today? How good you target fire today? And in that one, oh, that was a good one. And the bottom left here in the red, going for just more of a standard build. Reaper Expand seems like in the blue, down 1. ByuN. And in the upper right, in the red with the Eric build, once again, fool me once, shame on you, but not going to get fooled again. For Basilisk, it's Serral. So now as we are on Royal Blood, we're not seeing that build, that timing, that opportunity coming out of ByuN that we saw in a couple other games. There's no Reapers in the wall. This is not 3 racks Reaper play. But he has put, you know, some fear of God back into Cyril a little bit. This idea that, no, Cyril, you can't open the standard build, which I guess is greedy. I mean, not really. But in the current context of this matchup, it is a little greedy in the context of these 2 racks Reaper openers. But in this game, ByuN is just doing something very normal. It's going to be Reaper expand. Command Center goes down in the low ground right now. And it's funny because I don't know that I want to force Serral into the Eric build, because we see there are so many ways, so many paths out of it, including, you know, ultras before 9 minutes, or just about 9 minutes, that I don't know that I want to force Serral into that, because it's clearly something that is unexplored by most Terrans. It is something that Serral has been finding tremendous success with, and it just seems really hard to punish. But I guess on the flip side, it's like, well, you know, Serral won the standard game, so I don't know. But of course, ByuN, in my mind, ByuN is probably the best online Terran in the world. At least, you know, from a kind of a consistency perspective. Of course, he did lose to Kira in the upper bracket, on the upper bracket finals, to get knocked down here, and he does have to beat Serral. He's down 2-1 right now. But I think in general, I mean, I watch the way he plays online when he doesn't have a webcam on. And in fairness, in this tournament, he does have a webcam. This is a $42,000 tournament, and the Masters Coliseum has kind of enforced that webcam requirement. But even still, he is online. He's at home. He's got his puppy dog at his feet, or close enough. And that means like he's able to play without wrist pain nearly as much. And that really does help. But we're seeing a bit of a proxy coming out of ByuN here in this game number 4. It's been, well, finally, it feels like ByuN might have some of his feet under him. It's Hellion drops as this Reaper will fall. It's not great, but it's not what this game's about. It will be about this proxy on the right side, or the medevac halfway done. Hellion's streaming across the map at this point, and Serral has no vision in the middle of the map. Now, he will see eventually what's happening. Roach drop, you know, he's got an Overlord right there. Or, sorry, Hellion drop. But he has literally no army units. Roach Warren's not done. This timing that ByuN is hitting right now is going to hit before the Roaches are ready. This might be a lot of damage here. So Serral's aware of this now. The Overlord sees this into the main base. 4 Hellions right now versus 3 Queens. Drones are going to get pulled immediately for workers fall. ByuN, how much more are you going to get? 5 drones make it 6. You're looking for 8. You're looking for more. 8 workers go down. Now it's going to be line them up. Oh, it's even more. Maybe 9, but he doesn't get more. Now into the natural. He's going to go here. Medevac will fall. Looks to line up more shots. 11 drones. 11 drones hit the deck. Make it more? No. Seems like at the end of the day. Well, okay, no, we do. 13 drones. 13 drones fall. And that is in this setup where Serral didn't have a lot of drones anyway, so he was only on 2 bases. He takes that delayed third. That's really nice. The entire point of this build from Serral, or one of the reasons that you go for this build if you're Serral, is to keep yourself alive, is to not take damage. It also unlocks some aggressive options, certainly, but it's to make sure you stay alive. And getting, what was that, getting 13 drones in this game is such a valuable thing. Now, that being said, 3 Ravagers on the other side will put pressure on the bunker, but an SCV should be able to repair this thing for the most part, and it's only 3 Ravagers. This is not tons of Roaches streaming across the map here in a desperate bid to make sure that Serral comes back into this game. This is a little pressure. It's pulled a couple SCVs off the line. It's making ByuN spend a little bit of money. But he does have stim done. I think if ByuN, that's gonna be dead SCV. I think if ByuN realizes how little is here, he's just gonna, yeah, there we go. Stim's on top. 1 Ravager at the very least will fall. Does he have more? Yeah, he's gonna get one. And dodging, whipping, deeving, diving. He gets the 3rd. Oh, ByuN lost like a single Marine there. Sometimes you just like to see ByuN flash the leather, you know? Just show off a little bit. And he did so. I mean, nothing in my mind, talking about chasing Ravagers, can match that BlizzCon game. Nothing can match that BlizzCon game against Dark, where Dark, I want to say it was, I can't remember whether it was the Roach Ravager timing, whether it was a proxy hatch or something, but ByuN finally gets stim done. He finally goes and is able to move out, like it can break out against this hard contain. This was in a time where those Roach Ravager timings were really strong. And he stims across, he dodges every single bile, and the most incredible thing, and smacks Dark so hard, and he wins the game, and he ends up winning the series. And it's just one of those just ByuN micro moments that just are just so incredible. But for now, he's got to find himself a roach, got to find himself a couple more here. Is there enough actually for Serral to keep himself alive? Queen runs away. These roaches, well, as the queen's away, the roaches, they're not going to play here. ByuN stims his way into the natural. He's a bit surrounded here, but with who? He's going to win more and more. A couple more Marines, they're going to filter in, and ByuN is just killing Serral here. Not enough to kill him, like in the game, but that was a tremendously cost-effective trade coming out of ByuN right now. That was real nice. And now his armor's on the way. Now the next round of aggression coming out of ByuN, and we look at this supply right now. ByuN is down about 10 against roaches and ravagers. This is a very healthy supply for a Terran player to be hitting with, as he's got marauders now, as he's got well, tanks now, everything else. But the roaches now, they do run forward, and they don't allow ByuN to quite get himself set up as well as he would like. So for now ByuN's gonna have to contain his aggressive tendencies for just a little bit of time. As this Viking, it'll deal with the Overseer, and that's gonna be nice. But ByuN, pretty soon he's gonna have to deal with some fungals, and that will really put make his life a little bit harder. But for now, it's gonna be another assassination of the queen. Now there are too many roaches at this point, so ByuN picks up, runs away, gets a queen, trades a couple Marines for that privilege, and behind this, third base on the way. This is a pretty late third. That being said, it's a pretty late fourth base from Cyril as well. So at the end of the day, because of these openers, everything is just a little bit slowed down. But Serral, his economy is only okay. It's 66 drones. That's full 3-base saturation. But he's not on 70. He's not on 80. And in fairness to him, this is 1-1 roach. You don't want to you don't want to go above like 72, 74 drones for the most part, because you want the army. But for now, Serral, he's going to run into a problem here. ByuN wants to snipe the spawning pool before speed is done. He gets that one. So no link speed over the course of this game. The transition for ByuN, or the transition for Serral, is going to be hard, but you got to be careful. The fungals center mass on all the Marines here. Roaches and Ravagers get on top, trying to kill the tank as well, but the tank line is actually doing so much here. The drop as well, but the third tank's not sieged, and ByuN has to give this position up. That fungal killed so much of the bile. The tanks have to get picked up running away, and ByuN, he's just dead. He taps out here. I didn't realize quite how much supply died all of a sudden there. ByuN lost his entire army. And Serral now punches his ticket to the finals, a date with Cure. Ooh. Serral just looks untouchable right now, even as ByuN goes bonkers.